So, da bin ich wieder. Wir sind mitten in einem Mordfall, den es zu klären gilt, und müssen nun die offenbar sehr zugerichtete Leiche untersuchen.
So, let's see what we have here. My God, someone really did a number on her. Oh, they ripped open her entire belly. And it didn't stop there. There must have been buckets of blood. Jesus Christ. There's hardly any blood left in her. The place I found her must look like a slaughterhouse. I should go there and take a look. Her lips are bloody, but nothing more. Tongue still in place. But if he killed her for blabbing, I reckon he'd have cut out her tongue or something, wouldn't he? These are more like chops than cuts. Somebody must have taken a sword to her. Knife wounds would be smaller, and an axe would have made a bigger mess. But it couldn't have been a long sword. That would have been clumsy. It was something shorter and nimbler. God, that madman cut off both her breasts and bits of flesh. But what did he do with it all afterwards? Did he really keep all the pieces? Nobody could be that sick, could they? Her face is a little bruised and cut, but nobody cut her there. But she has a dark ring around her neck. Was she strangled? The murderer must have had pretty strong hands, and her hair is all matted with blood and hacked off. Don't even know what colour it was. Maybe there's something more to it. What if the murderer kept her hair like some kind of sick trophy? Just some scratches and bruises, that's all.
Ja gut, das ergibt ja keinen Sinn. Wir haben ja gerade geklärt, dass sie mit dem Schwert angewehrt worden sein muss. Deswegen vermutlich unbewaffnet ergibt keinen Sinn.
The killer probably surprised her. She didn't even have time to defend herself. So, the murderer must have awfully strong hands, because he strangled her and left a dark ring around her neck. Then he took a short sword or saber and started hacking at her. She's missing parts of her torso, but they are by the body. He also cut off most of her hair.
Gut, also ich glaube, dass sie wegen Katharina getötet wurde, können wir fast ausschließen, weil wir ja gerade erfahren haben, das geht schon eine Weile so.
He cut off her breasts, but left her tongue, then left her lying there for all to see. To send a message, maybe? Or a warning? Only if it was a warning for telltales, he would have cut out her tongue or something, wouldn't he? I don't know why he killed her, but I don't think it's because of Catherine.
Na, das ist ja schon mal etwas. Das ist ja schon mal ein Hinweis. So. Da ist Lumiere. Und da ist der Tatort. Okay, Lumiere ist direkt um die Ecke. Probieren wir den erstmal. Obwohl er scheinbar ein Trunkenbold ist, wie sich das anhört.
Lumiere?
Oh. Christ, my head. Not so loud.
I need to ask you something.
I said not so loud. I have a splitting headache.
That's some hangover. He's useless to me like this. Unless I'm willing to wait for him to sleep it off, I'll have to get him some kind of cure or potion. This should sober him up.
Starkes Katerbier. Ja.
Here. Drink up. Better?
What? Who... What are you doing?
Ja, so schnell wirkt der bei mir aber
Who
nicht.
are you?
My name is Henry.
And what do you want from me?
I'm trying to find out who killed a certain girl. And I was sent to you.
To me? What for?
Are you Lumiere from the rat house? The scribe?
I used to be. Now I'm just Lumiere the madman.
Oh, you don't look crazy.
Yeah. But I am. I see things in my head that aren't real. And then I point my finger at the wrong people. I'm the biggest madman in Gutenberg.
But I need your help.
If I were you, lad, I'd leave it be. You can't help that girl anymore, anyway. You'll just end up hurting yourself.
Come now, Lumiere.
Poor girls. Nobody was all that interested in it, except for me. We let it be in the end. We let a monster walk among us. No way. You can't solve this yourself.
I'm not doing it for myself. I'm afraid he might kill one of my friends.
A friend, eh? That's not good. Not good at all. I searched high and low. And what did I get out of it? Just mockery. What makes you think you can find out more than I did?
Ich kann den Menschen die Wahrheit entlocken.
Because I know people and can easily convince them. In the end, they spill their guts.
Is that so? What about me? You think I'll spill my guts too?
A moment ago you were moaning in pain, and now you're deliberating whether or not to tell me what you know.
All right. Talk to me.
Vielleicht weiß er ja auch gar nichts mehr durch den ganzen
Her
Alkohol.
name was Alice. She worked as a maid.
A maid? That fits. Yarka was a maid too. As were most of the other victims. What did she look like? What did he do to her?
I think that he strangled her first, and then went at her with a longer blade and disemboweled her.
Did you notice the strangulation right away? It took me a while. Maybe you really will track him down.
Do you think it's the same murder?
Counting your girl, that makes 6 victims who were first strangled and then mutilated.
Klingt nach einem
If
Muster.
it's not all the same person, they must be collaborating somehow.
This is the 6th one. How long has he been killing?
Probably about a year now. Sometimes it takes him months, sometimes weeks. But I'm including missing girls, Stanya and Zdena.
Did the dead girls have anything in common?
Aside from being pretty young girls with no proper family or background, no. I couldn't find much.
Do you think somebody is killing them because they're poor and nobody will miss them?
Certainly. If somebody killed the daughter of a local lord, no stone would be left unturned.
But why does he even kill in the first place?
I don't know. Maybe he hates women. Damn it. I feel like I'm going in circles and can't get out.
What can you tell me about Yarka?
She wasn't the first. But thanks to her, people started taking an interest. She was a maid in a German family. By all accounts, she was a pious, polite girl. She was orphaned as a child. The priest from the church of St. Peter and Paul, Father Prokop, raised her. They found her body tossed behind a barn at the edge of town. She was cut all the way from her neck downwards. An awful sight to behold.
Did you have any suspects?
At first, I thought the son from that family did it. A murderer is usually someone close, you know. But then I changed my mind.
Why?
Well, for one, I remembered the 2 girls before her who ended up almost the same. Besides that, when I talked to the lad, he seemed he wasn't the least bit interested in Yarka. Then his mother told me that they threw her out a week before the murder because she was a harlot who stayed out till all hours of the night. That really surprised me, because Father Prokop had vouched for her good reputation. But who knows? Maybe he just didn't want to admit what had become of her.
What about Stanya?
She was an alehouse wench in a tavern of ill repute called the Hole in the Wall.
You said her body was never found. Maybe she just got out of town.
You have no idea how much I'd like to believe that. Only there was a lot of blood. Unfortunately, the investigation wasn't very successful. The Hole is a world of its own.
Ah, das kriegen wir hin.
Aren't very
Mit
forthcoming
uns reden die.
information.
Did you suspect anybody?
You could suspect every second man there. Those people have nothing but thievery and deceit in their eyes. The innkeeper, Mole, definitely knew Stanya, since she worked for him. But he isn't all that chatty either.
So if I want to learn anything more, I have to ask this mole in the hole.
Yeah, he still runs the place.
And what about that Zdena? You said her body was never found.
Exactly. But to tell the truth, nobody spent much time looking for it. Besides Alice, Zdena was the most recent victim. It's only been a few weeks since she went missing, but I suppose nobody wanted to do any more digging.
But if her body was never found, how do you know she was killed?
Because she was the same type as the other girls. Maybe the prettiest of them all. Young, beautiful. A real live one. Lively as the devil. She was a thief. A pickpocket. I never could pin it on her, though. She always found some way to get out of it.
Maybe she robbed the wrong people and had to get out of town.
Maybe. She had a partner in crime by the name of Strunad. Quite a number. He's always sitting in the hole, boozing. When I asked him about Zdena, he told me he'd rather rip his own tongue out than talk.
Do you think he'd be more forthcoming with me?
He might be. You're not known all over town like a catchpole. It's worth a try. Besides, it might still be fresh in his memory. That would be a great help.
And what about the other two victims?
It all started with them, though nobody did much about it at the time. The first one worked as a bathhouse maid. They called her Chestnut. She'd only been in town for a short while, and nobody really knew her. So I couldn't find out anything more. But the other one, Libushka, she was from Loretz. She was a maidservant, too. I also talked to her mother. She said she was really cheerful and outgoing. There were lots of suitors circling around her, but she refused them all. She knew she was pretty, and knew she could do better than some farmhand.
You mean she wanted someone higher up?
That's what it sounded like. But her mother never found out who she had her eye on.
Interesting. I'll try to see what else I can find out from the mother. Where can I find her?
In the graveyard, lad. The poor woman died of grief. It's sad to say, but we can't help those two dead girls now. And they can't help us with our investigation either. There's nobody else left who could tell us anything about them.
Okay, also was ich aber jetzt schon mehrfach, also zweimal zumindest schon sich doppelt, ist dieses, hat einen Verehrer, aber keiner weiß, wer es ist.
Why were you looking into it? Who were those dead girls to you?
I don't know what people told you about me, but for many long years I was a scribe for Kuttenberg's bailiff. Kuttenberg is a big city with a lot of people. Silver, silver, silver. Mining it, smelting it, stealing it. There's always something going on. The bailiff was always running from hell to Hades. From one rich man to another.
From hell to Hades.
Quarrels. Often trivial nonsense.
But there are more than just rich burghers and lords in the city.
Exactly. There are common folk too. There's a lot more of them, and their troubles are usually more serious. So when one of them came to the bailiff's one time, and the bailiff was running around somewhere, I started to deal with it myself. I was pretty good at it too.
Behind the bailiff's back?
Not really. Andreas supported my activities until recently.
What happened?
I don't want to talk about it. Sorry.
Did you have any suspects back then?
You can always find some suspect. I always dragged the most suspicious ones to the body in the morgue by force. And they threw up at the sight. Or fainted.
Couldn't it have just been an act?
Fainting? Vomiting? That's hard to act. I'd swear none of them did it.
Can you sum it all up for me?
We have 6 victims here. And I believe they were all murdered by the same killer. Unfortunately, we only know a little about the last 4. The most recent ones. By now, we won't learn anything about the first 2. Of the remaining 4, the first to be killed was the maidservant, Yarka. She was raised by Father Prokop from the Church of St. Peter and Paul. He should know the most about her. The next were Stanya and Zdena. Their bodies weren't found, but we assume they also became victims of the same murderer. They both hung around a tavern they called the Hole in the Wall, Stanya was an alehouse maid, and Zdena a pickpocket. And the last victim is Alice now, also a maid. What they all have in common is that they were young, beautiful, and brunette.
Mhm. Alle brunette.
Good.
Okay.
I know everything I need to know.
When you learn something more, stop by and see me. You've aroused a bit of hope in me, lad. I hope you won't disappoint me.
Das hoffe ich auch. Weil die Quest hier, die will ich auf jeden Fall machen. Das ist wieder was cool anderes. Und halt auch, bitter, ne? Weil ja sowas einfach wirklich in echt passiert. Halt. So eine sinnlosen Mordserien und so. So, ach so, das ist der Vater.
Hey to you. What brings you here?
Father, I need to ask you a few questions.
I don't have time for theological discussions, my son.
That's not why I'm here.
Genau, er muss rumsitzen, sehr
My name's
wichtig.
Henry, and I wanted to ask about the murder that happened recently. Someone killed and gutted a young maidservant and left her body lying by the city walls. And I hear it's not the first time this has happened.
Another one murdered. May the Lord grant her eternal rest. Why is it you ask?
Somebody is murdering maids here. We have to put an end to it.
Yes, yes, but those poor souls are already at God's side. And revenge never...
I don't want revenge. I want to stop more killing. That's a better reason, isn't it?
True enough. What do you need to know?
One of the other victims was a girl named Yarka. But I reckon you know that, don't you? What can you tell me about her?
About Yarka. She was an ordinary girl. She served the von Groll family.
Where did you know Yarka from?
I knew her since she was a little girl. Knew her family.
And?
I was her uncle.
Okay.
When my brother and his wife died, I took care of her.
Who do you think killed her?
William, that pig of Satan. He gambles in the tavern on All Saints' Day and leads the locals astray. Yarka always went there to listen to music.
Why do you think it was William? Do you have any evidence?
Evidence? He's a skirt chaser, a tool of Satan. He messes with poor girls' heads.
And does anyone else come to mind? No other man spoke with her?
No, absolutely not.
You raised her? A priest with a child?
Yes. Unfortunately, I'm not the first of the clergy to have a child on the side. But at least everyone knew Yarka wasn't my own daughter.
No offense, but how did you know what to do? Without a wife, without a family? I would have been lost.
I was a bit, son. When she was smaller, it was fine, but when she grew up a bit, maybe I was too hard on her.
Also so nach dem Motto, er hat sie total eingefärscht und damit dazu getrieben, nachts rauszugehen und so weiter.
Why do you think you were too hard on her?
Yarko was an orphan, with no family and no possessions. Her only chance of a good life was a good upbringing. And then, a husband. But the more I led her in that direction,
Ah, so rum, okay.
the more she resisted me.
How did she rebel against you?
She wouldn't listen. She ran away. She ran around with all sorts. And how did it turn out? She died. And in sin. Such a disgrace.
disgrace. What the devil are you talking about?
She was pregnant! Even if she had lived, what then? Nobody would want to marry her anymore.
Oh, ich glaube, das kann eine ganz harte Storyline werden. Weil ich glaube, es war bei allen immer der Bauch aufgeschnitten, ne?
You're well off, though. Couldn't you provide for her?
I couldn't. Even if she had been my very own. More so, since she was my
Oh, und ich glaube, das kann eine ganz bittere Storyline werden.
The church's property always remains the church's. They keep a close eye on that.
How does that even work? Did you have her with you at the presbytery?
When she was small, I could. But when she grew up, she had to go. It wouldn't look right.
I've heard enough, Father.
Nein,
I'll be going.
Son?
Ich bin auf den falschen Button gekommen. Darf ich nochmal? Nein, ich darf nicht fragen, was mit Lumiere ist. Lumiere. So, okay, dann haben wir die beiden. Okay, witzig. Den Tatort zeigt es mir jetzt gar nicht mehr an. Ja, 0. Okay. Da ich das zuerst zu ihm gegangen bin, zeigt mir den Tatort jetzt nicht mehr an als Schauplatz. Okay. Das ist ein bisschen weird. Aber gut, nehmen wir so hin.
So help me God. For the 100th time, I don't know you really.
Das ist ja ein bisschen weird.
Fine wares here. Quality merchandise.
Ja, ich glaube, die Quest kann glaube ich, hart werden, ja. Uff, was wird das für eine Quest? Line, ja. Ich meine, egal, also selbst wenn es mit der Schwangerschaft nichts zu tun hatte, haben wir es trotzdem mit einem 4- bis 6-fachen Frauenmord zu tun. Also es ist in und für sich schon hart. Aber die Bemerkung gerade jetzt hat mich hat in mir richtig so ein ausgelöst. Okay. Gehen wir erstmal zum Maulwurf, weil da haben wir direkt einen Ansprechpartner.
Good afternoon.
Did a Stanya work here?
Stanya. Maybe. It depends on who's asking.
My name's Henry.
No.
Ah, das ist nicht gut, ey. Da haben sie wirklich so eine riesige Stadt gebaut. Machen mehrere Quests bei denselben Personen. Und tun dann aber jedes Mal so, wenn man in die Quests wieder rein, wenn man in neue Quests reingeht, dass die einen dann nicht kennen. Also, wundert mich. Also, ne, weil in den Dörfern passiert es halt nicht. Wenn du da mehrere Quests bei derselben Person hast, dann weiß die Person, dass sie dich kennt. Also, ja, wie gesagt, ich habe am Anfang gesagt, ich weiß nicht, ob so eine große Stadt so eine gute Idee ist. Und das ist schon sehr auffällig, ne? Sowohl der Totengräber als auch er. Ich meine, wir arbeiten schon für die.
I'm a good guest.
Really? Let's see. Do you know how to recognize a good guest?
Er gibt Geld aus.
By the fact he spends a lot of coin?
Aye. I like talking to them kind of guests. A lot. So, what'll it be, my good man?
Okay. Ich glaube, das können wir uns gerade so leisten. Macht knapp das Budget, aber ich glaube, es geht.
What if I simply paid you and you tell me what I want to know?
Ask away.
I want to know if Stanya worked here.
She did. And she don't know more. What's it to you?
I heard she disappeared without a trace. So I'm trying to find out if anyone had anything to do with it.
It's possible. The chamber she was sleeping in here was totally ransacked. The door open. Everything emptied out. And Stanya was gone. All I found were bloody footprints.
Tell me something else.
First, you'll have another beer. Or is it time to pay?
What?
If you want to ask, you have to drink. Didn't you get that?
You're quite the extortionist.
I prefer to be called an enterprising man of trade. So, what'll it be?
I don't want to pay you any more. I think you could answer my questions directly and not always try to weasel money out of me.
50 machen wir nicht. Das ist über dem Budget.
Nonsense. How could you?
Aber auch was für ein Arschloch, ne? Wir versuchen hier einen Mordfall aufzuklären. Also, nee, bezahl mal.
Did anybody see what actually happened when Stanya disappeared?
No, it was at night. Nobody saw or heard anything. The tavern tends to be empty at that hour. And you won't meet many people on the street, neither.
What was Stanya like? What can you tell me about her?
A bold woman. One has to be here. Everyone's ballsy here unless you nib it in the bud right away. She was hanging around a bard for a while. I don't know how close they were, but she also had another suitor.
Wieder Verehrer?
No, a charcoal burner. I heard
Aha, aber immerhin mal
Vrchlitz Valley.
ein Name oder ein Name und ein Ort. Okay, das ist ja schon mal etwas.
How did Stanya's room look?
The door was wide open. Most of her things were gone, but some remained. And there was blood all over the place.
Blood? Was there a lot?
Not so much, really. More like hand or footprints. But they were near everywhere. If someone done her in, they definitely didn't do it in that chamber.
What do you know about that bard?
What about him? He's a minstrel, a skirt chaser. What more can I say? He called himself William. As far as I know,
den Namen haben wir jetzt auch
plays
schon
in the
zweimal
miners'
gehört.
tavern in the evenings. But sometimes he shows up here too.
Do you think he might have been the one who...
Now that you mention it, he cleared out of
Also
town
sowohl bei
and only came back not long
Yaka
ago.
als auch bei ihr hier, Stanya,
I know he
war
met
jetzt
with
schon
some
beide Male
people
William
and
erwähnt.
talked about God knows what, like bloody spies. Besides, you know what minstrels are like. Lasses just flock to them. And like they say, opportunity makes the thief.
Or in this case, a murderer. Apart from those men, did anyone else know Stanya? I mean, more intimately.
Well, I got bad news for you. She had two close friends, but you won't get much out of either of them.
Why?
One was hit by a cart, even before Stanya disappeared. And she died. And the other one got married and moved away.
Where can I find this Barton?
I already told you. In the Vrchlitz Valley.
Can you be a bit more precise?
I don't know that bloke at all. All I know is he's a charcoal burner. So if I was you, I'd look somewhere around the charcoal kilns.
That's all I need to know.
Well, you wanna know?
Okay. So, und dann haben wir noch hier einen Hinweis. Bei dir?
Are you Sternat? The one that went with Zdena?
Who the fuck are you?
Just an ordinary bloke who has some questions.
Well then, piss off. You won't get any answers here. All you're gonna get here is a kick in the teeth.
Ja, probier's doch.
Why so rash? That kind of attitude will do you no favors. Let's make a deal. You tell me everything you know about Zdena, and I'll make sure you're no worse for wear.
Ah. You're the lord what that whore robbed. Don't worry about it. She weren't nothing but a lying bitch.
So, if I understand correctly, we can make a deal?
For the right price, I'll tell you all I know.
Die Animation haben sie jetzt neu eingefügt, oder? Das haben jetzt schon mehrere Charaktere gemacht, dieses...
Is this the right price?
You fucking bet it is. Ask away and I'll tell you everything.
Sehr gut, das sind günstige Informanten, die wir haben.
Where can I find Zdenna?
Aye. That's what I like to fucking know too. Last time I saw her... Well, that'd be back when she managed to fleece you.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to find her.
I can well imagine. Well, she went to Ravstein Mill. It's quite a long ways away. She had some unfinished business with some bloke called Pint. Ain't nobody seen her since then.
What can you tell me about Zdenna?
What do you want to hear? I try to keep her out of trouble, but there's just no helping some women.
So you were taking care of her?
Well, just in front of the others. Other than that, she did what she wanted. Always made her mind up and did things her own way.
So you weren't too fond of her?
Not really, no. But she did have a knack for making coin.
Did she have any friends or lovers who'd know more? Did anybody come here to see her?
Who come to see that bitch? She was always off somewhere, seeing someone. Although, once...
Someone came to see her?
Well, aye. Some stuffed frock came here once. All old and decrepit. He said he had some job for her. That she should leave behind her sinful life and all that shit. But he left empty-handed. She told him to go to hell.
Do you know who that priest was?
Some fucking Prokop or Pravoslav or some such shit. But that reminds me. I saw her a couple of times with another bastard.
Okay.
That fucking bard, William.
Mit dem Priester überrascht mich tatsächlich jetzt gerade nicht so sehr, ehrlich gesagt, dass wir den Namen nochmal hören. Und zum dritten Mal jetzt schon William.
And could she have run away with this bard, William?
With that lily-livered fop? Well, he ain't been seen in town for some time, but I think someone was out to get him. He still don't come here no more. He plucks that loot of his in the miners' tavern. The wee shit.
What do you know about this priest?
Not much. Seems they knew each other from before. And he had some job for her somewhere. Serving as a maid or something. But she weren't stupid. She told him to fuck right off.
And did he go?
Aye, indeed. He didn't look like the kind of fella that had knocked some sense into a woman. I think he just told her if she changed her mind to come and see him. Or some shit like that.
And could she have changed her mind and gone to him? And that's why nobody's seen her?
No, no. She took off. I'm sure about that.
I've heard enough.
Also, ich sag mal so, wenn die Storyline jetzt richtig böse wird, also glaube ich nicht, aber der Gedanke, den ich gerade sofort hatte, war, was ist, wenn der Priester jemanden beauftragt, diese Anschläge zu machen, um die jungen Frauen in der Stadt in Angst und Schrecken zu versetzen, damit sie den richtigen Pfad gehen. Und dass dann vielleicht mit seiner Ziehtochter oder seiner Nichte so, da irgendwas schiefgegangen ist oder so. Ich glaube nicht, dass es die Richtung ist, aber den Gedanken hatte ich gerade sofort. Dass ich nicht glaube, dass der Priester selber der Mörder ist. Aber ja. Okay, also wir haben jetzt hier William. Interessant finde ich, dass Prokop mir nicht markiert wird. Und wir haben dann hier unten Stanja nochmal. Ich würde sagen, da William mehrmals erwähnt wurde, gehen wir erstmal nach da unten, um zu gucken, ob wir den hier ausschließen können, eventuell. Und dann schauen wir weiter. Oh. Ja, die Allergie fängt langsam an zu kicken. Super duper. Aber das Problem ist, in der Allergiezeit ist auch mein Hals immer so trocken. Das heißt, jedes Niesen Jedes Husten, alles macht den Hals kratziger. Was sehr nervig ist.
Easy, easy. Nice and slow.
So, okay. Ich würde sagen, wir gucken erstmal bei dem vorbei. Beim Köhler. So, das ist jetzt wieder das, wo wir nicht gerade zu dürfen, ne? So, irgendwie hier außen rum müssen. Aber ja, die Quest hat gerade auf mehrerlei Arten das Potenzial, sehr, sehr böse zu werden. Eine so außen rum, sonst schlagen wir uns wieder den Kopf an. What the fuck?
At your service, sir.
Was war das? Pebbles. Einfach auf gerader Strecke plötzlich nach links rumgerissen, um mich in das Dach zu reiten. Okay. Alles klar, Pebbles. Müssen wir reden? Okay. Sure. Sure, Pferd. Sure. Und dafür habe ich dir die ganze Zeit die Treue gehalten, ja? Naja. Merke ich mir. Merke ich mir. Was passiert da? Okay. Hier ist einfach ein Adliger in den Abgrund geritten. Der wollte wohl nicht mehr. Wie es aussieht. Okay. Wenn er meint. Wenn er meint, wenn er meint. So, wir sind, glaube ich, jetzt schon in the right ballpark. Jawohl. So, mal gucken.
At your service, sir.
Warten. Hallo.
I'm looking for someone named Stanya.
You're in a charcoal camp, fella. What would a woman be doing here?
But you know Stanya, don't you?
Aye. You could say that. Why?
I'm looking for the killer of a girl in town. And I heard that someone also tried to kill this Stanya.
That's true. She told me something like that. But that was a long time ago.
So you don't know what became of her?
I really don't know, mate. But even if I did know, how can I be sure you aren't that killer?
I wouldn't be foolishly asking around for her then, would I?
Why not? How else would you find her?
Without getting seen by any witnesses.
What do you mean? What witnesses?
I mean you. If I tried anything, you'd remember me.
Well, that didn't occur to me. That would really be stupid of you.
I really only want to talk to her.
Sorry, but after all that happened to Stanya, I like to be careful.
So Stanya is here?
Aye. She's hiding with us. Since that thing happened, she's afraid to even go outside. I don't know what to do with her anymore.
Can I speak to her?
If it'll help you. She's hiding in that cottage. But be nice to her. She's in a bad way. She used to be such a gutsy girl. Take care, friend.
Okay. Da haben wir schnell die richtige Person gefunden, das ist schon mal gut. Und immerhin lebt Stanya scheinbar noch, das ist auch gut. So, ich hoffe, wir machen hier keine Angst.
You're always welcome here, good sir.
Okay, sie begrüßt mich mit You're always welcome here.
Who are you? How did you find me? If you came here to finish what you started, I'm not afraid of you. I'll claw your eyes out.
Don't be afraid. Barton told me where to find you.
Barton sent you to me. What do you want from me?
Lumir thought you were dead. I was supposed to find out what happened to you.
Lumir? From the rat house. He sent you.
Exactly. Someone killed a girl in Kuttenberg. Lumir thought it might be connected with you, so maybe you could help us find out who did it.
How can I help you when I haven't been in Kuttenberg since... I don't even know when.
You disappeared from the hole in the wall without saying goodbye. Without a word. What happened?
Someone attacked me when I was coming home from the baths one night. I managed to get away, but I was so afraid. I decided to run away from Kuttenberg.
Did you see who it was?
Not at all. I didn't see anything until he jumped out of the shadows and grabbed me around the neck. And he was terribly strong. I nearly blacked out right away.
And how did you manage to break free?
I had an empty pitcher in my hand, and I hit him with it. He howled and let me go, and I ran away.
Okay, das heißt, er hat hoffentlich eine Wunde
To the charcoal
irgendwie.
burners?
No, first to my room in the hole. I was so scared there. I took what I could and ran. Here, to Barton.
And your lover? What did he say?
At first he was horrified, because I had cut myself on a shard from the pitcher and was all bloody. He's been hiding me here since then.
What was it like working in the hole?
Well, I earned a few groschen, that I did. But I often had to grit my teeth.
How so?
Every single day I had to put up with their lewd remarks. Rich or poor, everyone wants to grope a girl. People, well, us girls have to watch out. We can't just put up with it. And sometimes we have to be tough, especially in a place like the hole. But you can't overdo it either. That's no good.
How so?
Because if you smile at them nicely, then sometimes they leave a groschen, or even two. You have to keep a balance. To look friendly, but unavailable.
Ja, und dann ist halt noch die bittere Realität, ne, wenn sie sich zu sehr wehren, dass dann wieder es die Art Mann gibt, die dann sagt, ja, was bildet die sich ein und dann halt nach Rache sich sehnen.
You said that rich or poor, they all like to grope girls. Like who?
Truth be told, the hole isn't exactly a good place for a rich man, but young von Groll used to go there for a while.
Is that so?
Von Groll haben wir auch schon mal gehört,
He
oder?
smiled at me a lot, so I smiled back, but beyond a few groschen, there was nothing more to it. Then this thieving wench started hanging around him and... oh, it doesn't matter. But that servant of his didn't like it, tried to drive her away, and so the young lord stopped bringing him with him.
Von Grolla had a servant with him.
Aye, a pudgy fella, well dressed, but had a mean face. He never said a word or smiled, or even said thank you.
You walked home from the baths at night?
What's so odd about that?
Well, at night, the baths are...
Ah, right. I went there after closing. I always brought the girls a pitcher of wine or ale and took a bath while they drank it.
Ah. So that's why you had the empty pitcher you hit him with?
Right. I went there regularly. Every week.
The same way every time?
Aye, always the same way. The shortest one. I didn't want to stay out too long at night.
And who knew that you went by yourself to the baths?
Well, everyone from the tavern, I reckon. I didn't hide it.
Why didn't you go back to the hole?
Just to get murdered there? Are you mad? I'm never going back there. Not until they catch him.
How are you now?
I'm still awful scared. I can't fall asleep knowing that, and I can't even really leave the house.
Do you remember anything important about the attacker? What he looked like? What he was wearing?
I don't know anything. It was at night. He grabbed me from behind, and then I ran and never turned back.
And what about when you hit him? What did he do?
He let me go, and cursed.
Aha, and what did he say?
He said Scheisse, in German.
Seems you're the only one to survive the killer's attack. I know it isn't easy for you to think about it, but try to remember something else about that moment, or when you were running away. Anything can help us, even if it seems insignificant.
I don't know. It's all like in a fog.
You were walking down the street. Did you notice anything before he attacked you?
No, nothing.
You didn't see anything or hear anything?
Actually, I knew the side street wasn't empty. I heard somebody talking, but when I looked, there was nobody there. So when somebody grabbed me, I completely froze.
Did you understand what they were talking about?
Not at all. But there were two voices. Two of them waiting for me there.
Ah, okay. Vielleicht ist mein Verdacht doch gar nicht so falsch.
It's difficult, I understand. But I need you to think hard one more time. Aside from those voices and the empty street, what else do you remember?
I didn't hear him at all. And then he grabbed me.
And nothing else? Did he grab your hair?
Well, no. He grabbed me by the throat right away and squeezed. Just for a moment, but I still had a big bruise round my neck for weeks. Barton said the man must have had a terribly strong grip, like a miner or swordsman.
Couldn't it have been that innkeeper then? You yourself said he's a pig.
Aye, when he drinks, he turns into a total bastard. All lewd remarks and groping fingers. The lecher. Only when I got to my room, I could hear him snoring. Couldn't have been him.
Couldn't it have been Father Prokop?
Father Prokop? I don't know him.
No, he's pretty old. He preaches in the Church of St. Peter and St. Paul.
I don't know him. And if he's an old man, how strong could his grip really be?
Ja, ein Bade wird wahrscheinlich auch nicht stark sein, ne?
William liked pretending to be a spy. Do you know anything about that?
Aye, I thought it pretty silly. A stupid trick to make himself seem more interesting. Though, I reckon he's more likely to attract an ass-kicking than a woman.
I reckon that'll be all.
I'm sorry I'm not able to help you more.
You don't need to apologize.
Thank you. Could I ask you for a favor?
If it's in my power.
When you catch that bastard, would you please let me know? So I can finally stop being afraid.
I'll stop by if I can.
God bless you, sir.
Okay, interesting. Dann haben wir hier noch. Erfahren wir über das Schicksal von Sidonia. Nehmen wir das noch mit. Einfach um rauszufinden, ob sie noch lebt. Würde ich sagen.
Go!
Auch wenn ich gerade merke, dass ich wirklich gerade nicht sehr aufmerksam bin, weil ich gerade echt nicht weiß, woher ich diesen Aufenthaltsort da jetzt habe. Aber gut. Nehmen wir mit.
Quick!
Und die Strecken hier auf der zweiten Map sind echt immer länger, als man denkt. So von der Karte her.
Quick!
Oh Gott, oh Gott, oh Gott. Ein bisschen abbremsen. Nicht, dass wir hier irgendwie völlig reinbrettern. Okay, Pebbles macht heute sehr abrupte Richtungswechsel stellenweise. Oh, Ast, an den man randotzen kann. Oh, oh. Oh, kommen wir hier runter. Da. So, ich vermute mal hier, ne? Grabstein. Ah, doch, stimmt. Ja, Grabstein hat er gesagt, ja. Okay.
Whoa!
Ach, Henry. Mann, Typ. Wie er wirklich über simpelste Hindernisse nicht kommt. Und ja, das mag mit einer Ritterrüstung an... Also das Ding ist, du hast ja eine Map im Dings, aber die, also zum Beispiel, wenn man sie jetzt das letzte Mal hier geöffnet hat, dann macht er sie halt auch hier wieder auf. Und dann musst du halt quasi auf der Map selber, also musst du halt hier gucken, okay, was ist hier, bla bla bla, und müsstest dann halt auf der Map selber suchen, wo du bist. Wäre aber auch absolut nicht meins. Also... Max will es ja wohl nochmal im Hardcore-Modus von vorne anfangen. Ja, also würde ich, glaube ich, nicht empfehlen. Pichler, da ist er.
God bless you, sir.
Are you Pine?
Aber gut, für jeden das Seine.
Why?
I'm looking for his dinner.
I don't know any Stenner.
Sternad said something different.
You're a friend of Sternard's, are you?
Er ist ein Bastard.
Ah, God forbid. That's all I need. A friend like that bastard. But he was the only one who really knew Stenner.
You're right there.
Es gibt ja auch ganz viele verschiedene Einstellungen, dass man weniger tragen kann, dass man sich bei leichten Stürzen schneller verletzt und so weiter und so fort. Also bei jedem Punkt von diesem Hardcore-Modus saß ich da und dachte, weiß ich nicht.
What do you want from her?
I'm looking for a... Back in the city, they think she's either dead or run off somewhere. And you're the last person to see her before she went missing.
Kurva.
Ja, also Helles Ass interessiert mich, wie gesagt, sehr, aber ich werde auch da vorher mir, glaube ich, sehr genau angucken, ob das was für mich ist oder nicht.
What can you tell me about Zdenna?
She always had it hard. She lost her parents and her home as a child. She had to learn to take care of herself.
And what about Sternad? How does he fit into this?
Sternard was her guardian angel, as she used to say. If she hadn't been thieving with him, she probably would have ended up a whore. But by sharing with him, she could do what she wanted.
Uh-huh. I'm surprised she stuck with him as long as she did.
That's because she had a hideout somewhere nearby. That's why she'd come to me with her loot, before they taxed her on the spot. And the last time she was here, she said one more haul like this, and she'll be able to go wherever she wanted. To Prague or Vienna.
I heard she wanted to sell you some valuables. Is that true?
Oh, aye. She had a good haul. No rubbish. Mostly jewelry, rings, one signet ring with a coat of arms and everything. She left it all here. I paid her a pretty sum of coin. It was a good thing she had a basket with her. Otherwise, she couldn't have carried it all.
And what about that signet ring? Do you still have it?
She didn't sell me the ring. She wanted to keep it. Said it'd bring her luck someday.
Interesting.
Do you know what kind of luck she meant? Did you recognize the signet on the ring?
No, I didn't recognize that signet. But all the while, Dana was giggling to herself. I reckon she had her eye on another mark.
Where did she go next from here? You said she had a lot of coin on her.
That she did. She also had a feeling someone was following her. Someone on a
Oh
horse.
Gott, die Nazgul.
Someone followed her on a horse from Kuttenberg. Did she say what he looked like?
She didn't. At first, she thought it was some wealthy lord out for a ride. But he held back. Never passed by her and...
And did you see him? Did he come all the way here?
No. But Stena thought he would show. She even left her scarf here and paid some girl to walk around with it to make it look like she was still here.
And then where'd she go?
Wanted to
Okay.
go the back way, through the woods, so nobody could follow her. Past the woods.
Ich mein, clever, aber auch eine ziemliche Arschlochaktion.
Next to it is
Ich hab das Gefühl, mich verfolgt einer. Hier, trag du mal mein Tuch.
Rise fast. The road goes on to Kuttenberg.
Well, if it leads back to the road and there was really someone following her, I reckon if they saw she was long in returning, they could have waited for her at the ford, no?
Fuck. That's quite possible. I made a point of looking, but I didn't see any riders that day. So I forgot about it.
And could it have been Father Prokop following her?
What do I know? If he has a horse and fancy clothes. But why would he do it?
I heard he wanted to find her an honest job, but she wasn't interested.
I don't know. She didn't say nothing about that.
And could it have been William?
And who would that be?
He's this bard she was seeing.
I don't know about that. I don't remember her mentioning nobody by that name.
Well, I'll go and check out that ford. Maybe I'll find something there.
I hope you don't.
Well, good day to you.
Same to you.
Bock, 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 bock. Ja, also helles Ast, wie gesagt, interessiert mich schon sehr. Aber wie gesagt, ich werde, glaube ich, sehr genau checken im Vorfeld, ob das was für mich sein könnte oder ob das zu sehr... Ne, weil ich merke doch, dass ich über die Jahre immer bequemer geworden bin, was Spiel angeht und schon... Oder so ein Mittelmaß gern habe. Aber dass ich auch schon merke, ich gucke immer schneller auch einfach Sachen nach. Und ja, also zum Beispiel hier der Hardcore-Modus, wo man sich alles extra schwer macht. Und vor allem auch extra nervig in vielen der Perks, die man da auswählen kann. Wäre gar nicht meins. Und ja, mit Helles Ass, wenn es da ruhig so ist, man muss sich komplett selbst orientieren, sich alles selber merken, aufschreiben. Kann cool sein. Aber ja, es sind zum Beispiel so Blueprints, wird ja gerade überall richtig gelobt, dieses Rätsel-Roguelite. Ich weiß, dass es für mich garantiert nichts wäre. Weil da bin ich einfach nicht schlau genug für.
That has to be that ford Pike was talking about. We should take a look around here.
Brücke? Also Übersetzungen sind stellenweise echt abgefahren. Ja, krasse Brücke, die wir hier haben, ja. Wollen wir nicht erstmal... Also hier ist Blut, aber... Nee? Okay.
This must be that basket of silver Zdena was carrying with her. She wouldn't have just left that here. But where did it come from? Maybe it rolled down the hill?
Das sieht nicht gut aus.
Poor thing. She didn't get very far. Ugh, she's been lying here a long time. At first glance, this body isn't as mutilated as the others. Unfortunately, I can't tell if somebody strangled her like the others. She's been lying here too long for that, but her head is smashed in. Either the murderer hit her with a rock, or dashed her hard against the ground. She must have put up a fight. Or maybe he lost his patience. Oh, she's all stuck to her clothes. They're torn up, but I don't see any cuts. The rips are odd. Like someone was looking for something. Oh, I can't make much out by now. But it seems as if the fingers on her right hand are broken. Did the murderer torture her? Or was he trying to get something out of her hand? Oh, my God. Oh, something fell out of her. A signet ring. Oh, that must be the one she stole.
Wie ist es aus ihr rausgefallen?
Did she swallow
okay.
it herself? Or did the murderer shove it in there? Was she trying to hide it? Or was it punishment for stealing? Well, that's enough. But what does it all mean? I'd say she put up a decent fight, and the killer had to improvise. And that's about all I can find out. She's probably been lying here a few weeks. But that ring is a good lead.
Okay, interesting. Oh. Achso. Interesting. So, jetzt ist die Frage, berichten wir jetzt erstmal nur mir von unserer Untersuchung oder sprechen wir erstmal noch mit William? Ich würde sagen, wir sprechen erstmal noch mit William. Ah, kann sein, dass wir zu spät ankommen, dann müssen wir wahrscheinlich übernachten erstmal. Hat uns jetzt doch ganz schön weit rausgetragen. Warum? Ich bin noch gar nicht auf der Bildschirm. Warum scrollt er denn die ganze Zeit runter? Wild. Ja.
I better not forget about that.
Ach so, warte. Haben wir eine Zeitbegrenzung? Nö, oder?
Council Assembly.
Also ich weiß, es ist eine Main Story. Ich gehe jetzt mal nicht davon aus, dass wir eine Main Story verpassen können. Obwohl, warte mal, es ist jetzt 21 Uhr, maybe. Na, auf dem Weg zu 22 Uhr. Das war ja nicht weit. Wir müssen eigentlich einfach nur hier runter. Wir können ja mal gucken, ob er noch da ist. Oder nicht. Also er wird zumindest noch angezeigt.
God be with you.
Da ist er.
It's William, right? I need to talk to you.
What is it? Do we know each other? Do I owe you money?
My name's Henry, and no, we don't know each other, and you don't owe me money. But we do have something in common. We have a lot of mutual friends.
What? What do you want of me? I don't have to talk to you.
Er sieht jetzt aber nicht aus wie jemand, der super kräftig ist und sie überwältigen könnte.
Well, you don't have to, that's true. But you should. It's in your own best interest.
What are you talking about?
If you don't start giving me some answers right now, I reckon you'll end up begging in the streets. Because I'll break all your fingers, and you'll never play the lute again, you miserable minstrel.
What? No! Come on, I didn't do anything!
Stop whining and talk, or I'll be the one doing something to you.
Come on. All right then. Ask away.
Did you know Alice?
I know a lot of Alice's. You have to be more specific.
The one they found dead somewhere below the town walls.
Oh, her. I didn't know her, but I heard about it.
Eigentlich wollte ich mich jetzt schon hinlegen, aber jetzt will ich die Quest eigentlich gerne beenden.
They say she had a rich young suitor. Do you know anything about that?
Me? Do I look rich to you? I get paid in food.
But you could at least pass yourself off as wealthy.
Or I could claim to be the Virgin Mary, but I doubt anyone would believe me.
I heard she used to go to dances.
Yeah, and? I'm not the only musician in the city. I really didn't know her.
And did you ever meet Yarka? It was a long time ago, but I heard she used to hang around you a lot. And Father Prokop didn't like it.
Oh, that one. Aye, she was very keen on my company for a while, but then she stopped coming.
Because somebody killed her.
I know what happened was a tragedy, but it wasn't my fault. She stopped talking to me long before that. Honest.
And did you know she was pregnant?
What? Yarka was... That's horrible. Who would kill a pregnant woman?
That's what I'd like to find out. What about the unwilling father-to-be? It wouldn't happen to be yours, would it?
What? Mine? I never even got under her skirt. We just flirted a bit, and then she stopped coming by.
And can you tell me anything else about it?
I don't know anything. It was a long time ago. You said so yourself.
And I hear you knew Stanya.
Which one do you mean?
The alehouse wench from the hole. I heard you had
Ist
something...
Stanya so ein häufiger Name
Well,
in der
she
Region?
batted her eyes
Weiß
at
ich
me
gar
a
nicht.
couple of times when I was still playing there. A nice girl, but I didn't know her much.
Well, the innkeeper Mole told me a different story. He said you were the one coming on to her.
Fine, we had a bit of fun together. But she was always the one who started it.
Before she gave you the boot for an ordinary charcoal burner.
That's not true. She'd been seeing that charcoal burner long before she met me.
And you didn't mind?
Why should I? I didn't want to marry her.
So what did you want from her then?
You're yanking my pizzle, right? Of course I wanted to fuck her, but no, we never got around to it.
Someone wanted to kill her.
What? Her? Yeah, but... What does that have to do with me? It wasn't me, and I don't know anybody who'd want to do that either.
And what about Zdena? You knew her, right?
Do I know Zdena? As wild as the wind and always full of life. And those nimble fingers. You always had to check your purse around her.
Did she steal something from you?
A traveling minstrel doesn't have much to steal, but she was well aware of that. She was on the lookout for some better prey.
Well, Zdena's days of stealing are over.
They caught her. I told her she'd be better off traveling the world with me.
And worse, someone killed her. It's been a while now.
So her too? Jesus Christ.
I'm afraid so. I'm sorry.
Thanks. Though it should have occurred to me since you're asking about her.
You don't happen to know who she wanted to rob?
There were lots. Anyone she thought was rich enough who let her ply her charms for a while. Like young von Grolle. When he started...
Von Grolle, schon wieder.
Got to him right away. Said she was gonna rob him blind.
And might she have stolen a ring from him?
I don't know. I had to disappear before she succeeded. Look, why are you asking me about all this? You don't seriously think I killed her, do you?
Well, you did know them all.
And? I'm surely not the only one.
That may be true. But everybody knows you're a skirt chaser, and they were all pretty girls. And now, they're dead.
But I had nothing to do with it!
So you didn't do anything to them?
No! Why would I? What would I get out of it? It doesn't make any sense. It goes against God.
You dare invoke God?
I admit, I'm no saint, but for Christ's sake, I'd never kill anybody.
Glauben wir ihm oder glauben wir ihm nicht? Ich bin tatsächlich geneigt, ihm zu glauben. Also zumindest, dass er es nicht selber war. Weil von dieser Beschreibung muss groß gewesen sein und sehr, sehr stark und so weiter. Das passt halt auf ihn gar nicht. Also ich glaube ihm zumindest, dass er es nicht selber war. Ich kann mir vorstellen, dass es irgendwie sowas ist, à la, er ist beteiligt. Oder hat sich mit reinziehen lassen oder so. Aber ich glaube ehrlich gesagt nicht, dass er es selber war. Es kann natürlich sein, dass er in irgendeiner Form Auftraggeber ist. Aber ich würde ihm jetzt, glaube ich, erstmal glauben. Und hoffen, dass es jetzt nicht saved und für immer so abgespeichert ist. Also klar, es ist halt schon ein super großer Zufall, dass er die alle kennt. Allerdings ist Gutenberg jetzt auch keine gigantische Stadt. Aber er wirkt auf mich nicht wie der es aktiv war. Ich sage jetzt erstmal, ich glaube ihm.
Good. I believe you. But if any clue leads me back here to you, I won't give you a second chance.
You won't hear about me again, I swear to God.
Kann natürlich sein, dass er jetzt abhaut, ne? In Storyline.
Now that you mention it, not in a while, no.
Strange. I know my luck. Excuse me. Going sour now.
Okay, dann gehen wir jetzt hier einmal schlafen und dann am nächsten Tag zu Lumiere. Vor ein paar Tagen noch in Lumiere, jetzt in Lumiere, bei Lumiere. Mal gucken, weil der nächste Tag ist, kann es schon sein, dass man ihm neues Katerbier geben muss. Schauen wir mal, aber wird schon passen. Wir haben ja noch ein paar. So, wir mampfen mal noch ein, zwei Happen. Wenn ich die Küche dann wieder finde. Wie, da ist jetzt schon nichts mehr drin? Das ist ja eine absolute Frechheit. Dann, damit nicht, müssen wir uns halt unsere geraubten, getrockneten Bärsche reinknallern. Bams, Bams, Bams. So. 3 Bärsche.
I apologize.
Ich entschuldige mich auch. So, da wir gar nicht lange schlafen müssen, lesen wir noch ein Buch. Das geht noch nicht. Auch immer mal den Faustkampf. So, lesen wir bis 1 Uhr nachts. So. Und dann schlafen und speichern wir. Machen wir mal bis 8. So. Dann gucken wir mal, aber... Naja, sagen wir mal, ein halbes Stündchen ginge noch. Länger will ich eigentlich nicht machen. Aber die Quest würde ich schon ganz gerne noch beenden. Warum war ich denn jetzt gerade wieder in einem privaten Bereich angeblich? Ich bin durch den Flur des Gasthauses gelaufen. Von meinem Zimmer nach unten, auf dem einzigen Weg, der geht. Ja. So, darf ich bei ihm reingehen? Oder ist das... Darf ich, okay. Hören Sie bitte auf zu beten.
I found out some interesting things about those murders. Just like you said.
That's wonderful news. But wait a while. I promised Catherine we'd wait for her.
You know Catherine?
She came to see me soon after you did, and started asking me questions. Just like you.
Will you send for her? So, we're all here.
I hope nobody else shows up. How did it go?
I reckon I've found out all I can.
And do you know who the murderer is?
Not exactly, but I have a few ideas.
I've asked around a bit, and I have my own suspicions.
Is that so? See, I was trying to recall some more details, and I had someone come to mind as well.
Oh, I didn't do all this for nothing, did I?
Well,
Zuerst Katharina, ladies first.
Catherine, who do you suspect?
Well, I I think it was that priest, Prokop.
That's nonsense. It couldn't have been him.
Couldn't have? Then who do you think it was?
It had to be William. Nobody else knew them all.
God, now you're talking nonsense. I'm sure William is innocent.
So I see we disagree. Too bad. We could have been done with it quickly.
Well, who do you think it was then?
I'm not entirely sure. First, I'll tell you what I found out, and then it might be easier for us.
Go on then. Starting with who?
Let's talk about Yarka, the one raised by Father Prokop.
What did you learn about her?
Prokop also admitted that he didn't know how to handle her, and perhaps he was too strict.
What do you expect from a Bible thumper? Man punishes and God forgives. It never occurs to them that if man didn't punish, God wouldn't have to forgive.
Well, maybe I wouldn't hold it against him. He really tried to make sure she was well taken care of. He wanted to find her a husband, too.
And did you learn who he found?
No. I think it fell apart when Yarka started rebelling. Yarka started working for the von Groller family, where she remained until her death.
I was there to ask whether she'd given them any trouble.
Nee, sie wurde auch eine
They
Woche
said
vorher
she was always
rausgeschmissen,
thorough
oder?
and reliable.
Ah, so what's the story with von Grolls?
A very wealthy and important family. The mother is quite
Ich bin der Meinung, die haben vorhin gesagt, sie wurde vorher
devout.
rausgeworfen, eine Woche.
Prayer.
Vorher.
Old von Groller's been sick for years. Can't even get out of bed.
So, who runs affairs?
That would be young Hendel. They say he's quite successful.
Prokop didn't just raise her out of the goodness of his heart. He was actually her uncle.
Really? But he still could have killed her.
His own relative.
Why not? He's a priest. I'm sure he knows the story of Cain and Abel.
Before her death, I heard she often went to dances.
There's nothing wrong or surprising about that. But maybe she found someone there.
Maybe. Prokop was convinced that she went to see William. That was actually the only name he mentioned.
That doesn't mean anything.
It means she had some relationship with William. Or at least knew him.
And now, most importantly, Yarka was pregnant when they killed her.
I didn't know that. Do you know for sure? So they gutted her?
To make it impossible to tell she was pregnant? I wouldn't be surprised.
May God forgive us.
Do you know who she was pregnant with? Because if we know who the father is, we'll likely know who the killer is.
She didn't tell Prokop.
It had to be someone from those dances. Maybe William.
Ja, oder es ist halt wirklich doch so was ganz Perverses, weil Prokop hat halt von der Schande geredet.
Prokop is convinced that she was murdered by that bard, William.
And I agree with him. I heard the daughters of important men come to see him. It even went so far he had to flee the city. And the moment he's back, there's another murder.
I don't agree. I saw him play, and he doesn't look like a murderer. A seducer? Perhaps? But there's something about him. Maybe it's just his songs.
But he's a skirt chaser. If he got Yarka pregnant, then...
Perhaps. But why would he kill and mutilate her? He could have just run away.
But then he could never come back.
Why not? He could come back a year later, once things have died down, the child would be born, the shame forgotten, and nobody would bring it up again.
I suppose that makes sense. That's all I was able to find out.
You still found out more than I did.
But it's not enough. We still don't know who the killer is.
But we can agree that she was killed because of her pregnancy, can't we?
Agreed. Somebody got rid of her to make sure nobody found out she was pregnant.
I'm sure William wanted.
William isn't the only man with a prick. And he certainly didn't use it to strangle her to death.
Such language. What are you trying to say?
That William isn't the only man in the city. It could have been anyone. And now we'll never find out.
I'm not saying it couldn't have been him, though I don't think it was. It just seems foolish to only focus on him.
I suppose you're right. Let's forget it.
I managed to find Stanya.
Alive? You found her alive?
I did. Alive and well. Hiding with the charcoal burners.
So, she's not one of our victims?
She is. She just managed to escape the killer. She said she was attacked on her way home from the baths. She heard somebody talking in a side street, but it was empty. But when she walked by, someone grabbed her by the throat and started strangling her.
And how did she manage to get away?
She was holding an empty pitcher, and she smashed the killer in the face with it. He either got startled or hurt, but he let her go.
Did she get a look at him? Did she take his eye out or something?
No, she didn't stop to find out. Just ran. Which is probably why she survived.
And what about the blood in the bedroom?
She cut her hand on the broken pitcher. She didn't stay in her room for long. She was still so scared that she grabbed her things and ran off to her beloved charcoal burner. She said she returned from the baths in the evening regularly, and somebody knew exactly which way she would take and where to wait for her.
You mean someone followed her beforehand to figure out where to ambush her?
Who knew that she went to the baths?
Apparently everyone in the tavern. She didn't hide the fact. She also said she was sure it wasn't Mole. He may be a pig, but the evening she ran home, he was in bed snoring. Well, according to Stanya, the murderer had a terribly strong grip. Her neck
Eben,
was
das
bruised
passt
for
halt
almost
nicht
a
auf
month.
William.
Doesn't almost every man have a strong grip?
Depending on
Ich
what
hab
they
zum
take
Beispiel
in
keinen
hand
starken
every
Griff.
day. A tankard, a quill, or a hammer.
Except none of our suspects are miners or blacksmiths, eh? According to Stanya, the murderer didn't say a word the entire time.
That's strange, right? I'd expect him to at least call her a whore.
The only word he uttered was when she smashed him in the face with the pitcher. He said Scheisse.
So, we're looking for a German?
Even I say Scheisse sometimes, and I'm not German.
Besides that, she also recalled hearing two voices in the alley. Someone was talking to the killer.
So we have a witness. Now, just to find him.
Or an accomplice. If I remember correctly, the other one must have seen the whole thing, right? And he didn't go to report it.
Was aber auch aus Angst passiert sein kann.
I asked Stanya if she knew Prokop. She said no.
Maybe she just doesn't remember him. Or he gave a different name, or...
I don't think Father Prokop is the type to frequent the worst tavern in Kuttenberg.
Doch, ja. Das ist jetzt wieder schade, weil da eigentlich müssten wir da jetzt sagen können, doch, er war da einmal.
Stanya admitted that she knows William. He flirted with her.
Das haben wir erfahren.
To know her better, but nothing came of it.
And that's probably why I wanted to kill her. And likely rape her before that.
Well, perhaps, but Stanya doesn't think so. She's sure it wasn't William, and no matter what they say about him, in her eyes he's a good lad. And that's all that Stanya told me.
I'm so glad that girl is alive.
Me too. At least someone's had a little luck. Does she want to come back, or will she stay with the charcoal burners?
I don't think she'll come back. She's so scared now they'll come back for her, she doesn't even leave the house. I managed to find Zdena.
You found her? Is she alive too?
No. Unfortunately, she's dead.
And where did you find her?
Pretty far away. Near the mill she used to sell things at. Someone caught her in the forest when she was coming home with a load of coin and killed her. I reckon she put up a hell of a fight. So the killer got nervous and ended things quickly.
So he didn't strangle or mutilate her?
She'd been lying in the woods for a long time, so I couldn't really tell. But he definitely didn't hack her up like the others. Judging by what her accomplice said, she robbed someone good. She had so much jewelry on her, she could hardly carry it. And what's odd is when she was murdered, the killer left her basket of valuables behind.
So I reckon he didn't kill her for the money.
Father Prokop came looking for Zdena and nearly cursed her on the spot.
What did he have in common with a thief?
He had also looked after her, but unlike Yarka, she ended up on the street, and he took it badly. Zdena tried to rob young von Grolle. It's possible she succeeded.
Von Grolle? Yarka worked for them, didn't she?
Ah, that whole family is suspicious.
Assumptions. Nothing more.
I'd say it's pretty obvious. Why else would I have found that ring on her?
They just left the ring by her body. That's odd, isn't it?
It wasn't by her body. It was inside of it. I don't know if she swallowed it herself or someone shoved it in her.
Ah, that's awful. But I can't say it surprises me.
My mouth is starting to hurt from all this blabbering.
So are my ears and head.
Come now, we're nearly there. We just need to find our suspect. So, Henry, who do you think did it?
Also für mich ist Wilhelm, William, wie auch immer, eigentlich fast raus, weil dieser allein durch dieses groß und unheimlich stark fällt es irgendwie raus. Prokop ist halt eigentlich auch ein alter Mann, den verdächtige ich aber mehr als William. Auch wenn ihn nicht alle kannten. Ich denke mal, es war einer von Grolles. Gibt es da Gegenmeinungen? Ich denke, es wird einer der von Grolles gewesen sein. Weil William hat jemanden, der für ihn aussagt. Es passt die Beschreibung nicht mit dem groß und stark. Und so weiter. Prokop. Ja, hat zumindest in einem Fall ein Motiv. Bei dem anderen wurde aber gesagt, dass sie ihn nicht kennt. Also ne, die noch lebt, kennt ihn nicht. Also eigentlich ist das hier am wahrscheinlichsten, denke ich.
I suspect one of the von Grolles.
What leads you to think that?
Are you sure it wasn't William?
Alice had a young and wealthy suitor, and young von Grolle fits both descriptions.
True, true.
We could be getting somewhere.
Yarka was their maidservant until she started rebelling, right?
Yes. Do you think she was rebelling because of someone in particular?
Perhaps the young lord?
That's possible.
Yarka was pregnant, and if the father was young von Grolle, it would make sense if he got rid of her.
Sakura, you're right.
But William could have fucked her too. Just saying.
Er ist irgendwie sehr besessen von.
Zdena robbed von Grolle.
That's true.
It's all coming together, isn't it?
And that's all I can pin on him.
So, do we agree that it was young von Groll?
Well, old von Grolle can't do much now, can he?
So do we really agree that our most likely suspect is young von Grolle?
Aye. I agree.
I don't have a problem with it. Little rich boys are capable of anything. But what are we gonna do about it? Our suspicions aren't enough.
They'll just laugh at us without something more tangible.
So, you wanna search their house?
There's nothing else we can do.
Nein!
Must be a clever way to do it.
We have to find some evidence. None of our conjecture is enough. What will we do?
You could sneak in there.
Or break in?
Catherine, that's not necessary. The young lad wants to learn swordsmanship, and the old one is sick and always calling for a physician.
So I can either pretend to be a sawbones or a swordsman, or break in? That's a lot of options.
You're a clever lad. You'll figure it out.
Okay. Wie spät haben wir's? Ja, das Problem ist leider, dass ich das Gefühl habe, die Quest wird jetzt nicht innerhalb von 10 Minuten beendet sein, ist mein Gefühl. Deswegen würde ich sagen, haben wir jetzt hier gerade eigentlich einen ganz guten... Ich mache mal hier noch eine Markierung, da haben wir es beim nächsten Mal gleich, dass wir dahin wollten. Deswegen würde ich sagen, auch wenn jetzt wahrscheinlich wieder ein bisschen Kingdom Come Pause ist, oder vielleicht gucke ich auch, ob ich es einmal die Woche irgendwie mache oder so, würde ich trotzdem sagen, machen wir hier jetzt mal den Cut, weil jetzt habe ich zumindest nicht dieses ganze dass ich mir ganz viel merken muss zu den Verdächtigen, sondern das ist der Verdacht, da müssen wir hingehen. Das ergibt dann, glaube ich, mehr Sinn, es so zu machen. Gut, ich bedanke mich ganz herzlich fürs Zuschauen und wir sehen uns dann beim nächsten Mal. Wie gesagt, Freitag werde ich wahrscheinlich mit Tainted Grail Fall of Avalon anfangen. Interessiert mich ziemlich das Game. Und ja, dann sehen wir uns wahrscheinlich da. Bis dahin, euer Grauton und ciao.